What's up, guys? Three bold takes yet again, and we are back this week with some more predictions. But first, gotta say, we are sponsored by SeatGeek. So the next time you're buying tickets to whatever, literally whatever, concerts, football games, tiddlywinks, whatever you buy tickets to, I guarantee you SeatGeek probably has a ticket. Over 70,000 events daily. You can use our code 3boldtakes for $20 off your first purchase. Now, we're going to start this week off talking Oklahoma State at Kansas State in Manhattan. The number 20, Oklahoma State, and then Kansas State actually 23rd now after they got destroyed by BYU. It looks like Kansas State's a 4.5 to 5.5 point favorite, where depending upon where you look. The over/under is 54.5. So this is a very interesting game with both teams coming off of losses, conference losses at that. So Chase, what are your thoughts kind of on this game?
Well, this is a big one just because both these teams are coming off losses that they shouldn't have lost. You shouldn't lose to BYU if you're Kansas State. You are one of the top three Big 12 powers, and you lose to a former group of five that's only been in your conference. What is this, our second year, I believe it is. So that's a huge struggle there. BYU, they're a good team. They're a solid team, don't get me wrong. But as a team that should be contending in the Big 12 championship game each year, you should not be losing to the Cougars. And then also on the other side, Oklahoma State, you get out scot-free with Cam Rising not playing in this game, and you get the backup quarterback, and you can't get an offense to work to save your life if you're the Cowboys and Mike Gundy. So both these games are just absolutely horrible to come off of. So what are you doing? You're looking for a bounce back. And I honestly don't know who's going to bounce back better. Alan Bowman wasn't great last week against Utah. There's a reason he's a 7th, 8th, 20th year senior. And then you also got Johnson on the other side with Kansas State that had a decent game, but just didn't do much offensively to help his team. And so for me, I'm going to go Kansas State in this game. I think that they're going to have a better offense here that can help them out. I went with Oklahoma State last week, but facing a tough defense in Utah, you saw what could happen. And I think Kansas State has been a little more battle tested so far. They got Tulane, who's a top group of five team. They beat down on an Arizona team. And then Oklahoma State, they've played Arkansas and beat them in double overtime, and then they lost to Utah. There's not much on Oklahoma State's side of the ball that's really shown me. And I think they're going to be more down in the dumps going into this game in Manhattan against the Wildcats. So I'm going to take Kansas State in this game.
Freddie, you want to go or you want me to go?
Yeah, I can go.
All right.
So for this game, obviously, Chase, you kind of outlined what happened last week with both of these teams. I'll tell you what's probably going to be the lock for this game, and that's the under the 54.5.
Oh, yeah.
Oklahoma State's offense has struggled pretty much all year, to be honest. Like that Arkansas game, Arkansas is just really bad at at both sides of the ball. Now, I like Arkansas's quarterback, but that's beside the point. They're just really bad. And then what happened, last week against Utah, which Utah's defense is always, top tier year in and year out. But I'm going to go Kansas State in this one. They're a 4.5 point favorite. I think they cover the 4.5 and win by 6 points. And I would hammer the under of the 54.5. I just think they're going to have a bounce back game. I personally, I think they were looking past BYU. And I do want to mention this. Yes, BYU was not a Power 5 team. They were independent, always playing Power 5 level competition too. So they have been battle tested year in and year out as BYU, and so glad to know they're finally in a Power 4 conference and have a chance to win a conference championship and all those things. So shout out to them for doing that, something that Notre Dame fails to do and is scared to do. But give me Kansas State to win this game.
That was a crazy stray. I just got to put that out
Yeah,
there.
that was wild. He found a way to take a punch at Notre Dame in a video about Kansas State and Oklahoma State. Anyway, look, we're clean sweeping on this one, guys. I got Kansas State as well. I look at both teams, and normally I'm big about the bounce back game. Like, oh, you took a loss, you're going to come back the next week like a wounded animal and bounce back and beat somebody. I'm a big buyer into that philosophy. The problem is both of these teams are in that mode. So this is why I'm excited about Big 12 football. Who thought BYU was about to come out and punch Kansas State in the mouth? Nobody.
Exactly.
But really, when I watched the two games, I saw Utah outman Oklahoma State for 60 minutes.
Yep.
Just physically dominated them for 60 minutes. And, say what you will, Utah is the best team of the Big 12 in my mind, but Ollie Gordon has not been getting anything going this year, like at all, against anybody. Meanwhile, I look at Kansas State, and it really felt like things spiraled out of control really fast, and the wheels just completely fell off, and they couldn't get back on. Like it was just one of those like nightmare situations where a bunch of points hit the board really fast, and you're stunned, and the game's just over. That's not going to happen every single week in football. And this game being in Manhattan goes a long way for why I'm picking Kansas State. But ultimately, I have more faith in Avery Johnson. That's the main reason I'm picking the Wildcats to win the game. So give me Kansas State as well. I think we got a clean sweep on that one.
Yeah, I think that's those are safe bets there. And like you mentioned, Quinn's exactly right. Like Kansas State's a team that cannot come back and win. They're a team that has to stay in it the entire time because their offense is not built for points really quick. So they kind of fell behind the eight ball there early and often. Guys, that's been our Oklahoma State, Kansas State prediction. Reminder, we are sponsored by SeatGeek, so be sure to use our code 3BoldTakes, $20 off your first purchase. I've been Freddie. I'm joined by Chase and Quinn, and stay tuned for 4 more predictions every single week. We do 5 plus this one 4. There we go. See you guys next time. Thanks.